This is No Laugh Track Podcast. We're doing it a little different this week. Still the same host, me, Justin Severson here, sitting at Acme, but we're doing it a little bit differently here in that if I look straight across the room, I have to look over a keyboard because my guest is, we're doing
virtual.
It via the internet. Virtual. It's not Zoom.
I'm a virtual guest.
Yes, it's the first virtual guest. So, I mean, we've done 400 and blah, blah, blah of these, and I've never done it like this before. So,
Amazing.
So it took a Tim Slagle to get it done with some really...
Amazing with the pandemic that you never did it on Zoom. I mean, everybody's done everything on Zoom for the past 2 years.
That's very true. Well, except for that there was a time when, there was nothing to promote here. It would be like, hey.
Derek painted the box office podium.
Exactly. So for whenever we can let you back in, you won't believe the tweaks and changes. But that's way in the past now. We're back in full capacity here at Acme. The last time you were here doing a week was also full capacity, sort of like the in-between stages of when it was everything was shut down and it was open back up, shut down again, and here we are.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no more variants, huh? Or people are just, it's like, we're going to have variants the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I mean, they might go through the whole alphabet. And what was that? What happens? Do they go and then start over again if we get through like the Zeta would be I don't know what the last one would be. What do they do? Just start over?
I know that with the hurricanes, once you get to the end of the alphabet, that's when you start going to the Greek alphabet.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. I do not know.
Can we start submitting our own names? Like, like puns and, little plays on words.
Well, they did skip chi, though. I thought that was quite funny. They did skip, but they went through the Greek alphabet, but they skipped chi. They went right to Omicron.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So how have you been, Tim Slagle? How have you been? It's, I haven't talked to you in 2022. Last time I saw you was 30th anniversary. No, 30th anniversary show here at Acme.
That's right. That was, I got my timetable off. Yes. I've been doing okay. It's been it looked like it was going to be a really good year at the beginning of last year, and then Omicron, and then the cancellation started again.
How differently has your last 2 years looked versus what they were supposed to be?
Honestly, not much.
Yeah, not much.
I just didn't have to pretend I was working. That's because nobody was.
I mean, you, and like as you briefly mentioned, we did manage to get the Crash and Burn week in last September. I think it was the end of September. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was a full Crash and Burn. It was the Andy show. We were supposed to do an all Andy show before the pandemic, and then because of the pandemic, we were down to one Andy, and then so we had the remaining the rest of the Andys last fall.
That's right. That's right. So
along with an Adrian, so it's two Andys and an Adrian.
That's right. Do you have? I know you're not going to say who's going to be doing it this time, this early, but do you have any names?
I'm pretty sure I know who it's going to be. We have a date.
You do have a date.
Yeah, will be October. Oh, I got to look at my calendar now. I should have. This is what you call show prep. Having all the show prep in order. It will be October 4th through the 8th this year. So mark your calendar right now on that, and it's going to be a fantastic show. I guarantee.
There you go. So during the first full week of October.
Yes.
And for the record, Tim, you're consistent because I listened back to when we talked when you had your headlining week last year. I just recently listened back to that, and when I asked about Crash and Burn at that time, you didn't have the date exact then either. It was, boy, I should really know this. So you had it down to the right 2-week period. So you're consistent on that. So that's good.
I didn't have my computer in front of me last time. So this time got fourth through the 8th. Crash and Burn 11.
11. I did have that written down. Do you know off the top of your head how many times this episode we're recording right now? Do you know how many times this is on No Laugh Track Podcast for you?
How many times I've done it? Let's see, 400. That has to be, gosh, you have to be close to 10 years then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 10 years. This 20.
19.
Oh, almost.
Yeah, 19. This is the 19th Tim Slagle. So 20, and we start putting your name after it. So we've done 18 of these and have never talked about, hey, you're here this week recording a special.
Yeah. Even though I have, but I don't know if I ever did a special while you were doing the podcast. But I've done shows there. I've one, two, at least 3 specials. I think this will be at least my 3rd special that I'm recording.
Go back. What was the most recent thing you remember recording here?
I recorded with Stand Up Records. I recorded my soon to be released CD. Bachelorette party, and Dan came in and he brought in the cameras too, so there's a video accompanying that.
There is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It should be released any day now. I don't know where it is. Oh. We could talk about that off camera. I don't want to bring it up right now.
No, fair enough. So what the dates of when you're here this year, April 20th through 23rd. Correct?
Thank you for doing that. Yes, I don't have to admit that I don't know yet. I'll be there the 20th through the 23rd. Yeah, I'm going to be doing another special. This will be. I've decided at this point in my life, the only way that I'm ever going to be able to retire is if I make a lot of money in the next couple of years. And I figured the only way to make a lot of money is to get canceled. So that's what I'm shooting for.
I'm impressed that you haven't done that already, knowing you as long as I have. Let's be honest.
Well, I have, but it hasn't been. It's happened in the days before there was a cancel culture. So so this will be my first. Since cancel culture came out, I've been trying to be a nice guy. I've been trying to mend all the bridges I burned over the first 30 years of my career, and they're not getting fixed. Those bridges are not getting fixed at this point. So it's time to just pull them down.
You have no other creative way to get over that bridge, you're saying?
I don't think so. I don't people still I think well, I shouldn't say that people still remember my more vicious nature. Is the people that do remember me they're all retired now. So
you're working to find their replacements, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things you mentioned the last time we did this was that I asked you about social media and about how you occasionally get in a little spats on Facebook. And you said at the time, this would have been, I don't know, last summer, maybe last June. And you said that, that's because I've moved to a private group on Facebook. And that's why you're not seeing me get into stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Several private groups now.
What does that mean?
Well, I got thrown out of one. And what happened was it was a political discussion group. And anytime someone would say Fox News, I'd say everybody drink. Anytime someone would bring up something like, well, taxes really should be lower on everybody, including corporations. And somebody would come back and like, oh, yeah, that's just what you heard on Fox News. And be like, Fox News, everybody drink. And the moderators did not think that was as funny as I did.
So in this new group or two, how many groups you have now, is that the admin that booted you out?
Well,
you
actually,
invited that person?
Well, I think he was invited, but actually the interesting thing is the person who started one of the main groups I'm in was the person who got me invited into the other one. And then I caused so much trouble in this group that people want me to be in all sorts of groups arguing. And it's fine. Nobody sees it. Nobody.
You're the barking dog. No, he doesn't bite. He doesn't bite. He just barks and makes some noise. Right? Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you how many people that have threatened to kill me online, and then I meet in person, and then it's like we're best buddies. They're like, "Oh, you're a lot different in person than you are online." I go, "We all are." It's
True.
It's the same reason why you'll do stuff in your car that you won't do. People think nothing of skipping way to the front of the line and cutting in with your car. You would never do that waiting at McDonald's. You would never walk along the people that are waiting in line and then try to get in at the last second. Some people would.
Well, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I had a guy cut me off in one of the, I was at a bank and there were two windows open there were two that were being used. Two of the two that were open were being used. I was the first car that pulled up. And instead of just picking one, I decided, well, I'll kind of hang back and see which one opens, and then I'll go to that one, right? I'm the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while I was waiting for that next one to open up, out of nowhere, a guy zips by me as soon as one of those cars pulled away and took it right in front of me.
Huh.
I couldn't believe it.
Huh.
Yeah, this wasn't exactly an anonymous, like the sneaky zipper merge people that do it. This guy's like right to my face and did it. Yeah.
I had someone do that to me at the day old meat counter.
What do you mean?
I thought I'd let that sink in for a minute. There's a grocery store, and there's one section where they put meat that today is the last day that before they have to throw it away.
Yeah.
And so I always run there, and sometimes you can get a really nice thick ribeye for a couple bucks, and it's a little brown, but
he ripped it out of your hands.
It's aged. Well, that's what happened.
Like a Cabbage Patch doll in the 80s.
Sitting there. I'm sitting there. I'm going through, and she comes up in front of me, and like right in front of me, and grabs stuff that I haven't looked at yet. Like reaches way in front and pulls it out as I'm looking at it. And I look at her, and she had a scarf on, so she probably has cancer. So I didn't.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that might be the last steak you ever eat. So enjoy
it. You need it more than me. That's how you justify stuff like that. She probably needs it more than me, right?
Yeah, that's what I did. I actually started pulling stuff out. I go, what do you think of this? Do you want this? Okay. How about this? Do you want this too? That's what I'm here for. I'm here so you don't have to bend over.
So you're going to be here, recording a new special. This might be the dumbest question I've ever asked. I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you consider doing it anyplace else?
No, absolutely not. It's when Lewis brought up the idea, I said, that's great. Cause I have this, I probably have an hour of material that I can't do anywhere. I even I was told at a club I wrote some Joe Biden jokes at the last Crash and Burn.
Yeah,
and they were going pretty well. And I said, oh, okay, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we can make. We've had 4 years of Cheeto Jesus jokes. It's we weren't allowed to make jokes about the president during the 8 years of Obama. I mean, there was a drought then. So I said, well, maybe we can make fun of a Democrat. So I was doing some Biden material, and it was going pretty well at Acme. And I was working at another club. And the next night, the owner came in and said, we got a lot of negative comment cards. Could you axe the Biden stuff? And I went, I did. Yeah, sure I did. I need to work. And here's the thing, okay? If I was Tim Slagle and people said, "Oh my gosh, Tim Slagle's in town," and tickets started selling out 3 weeks in advance, if my shows sold out 10 minutes after they were announced, I could do whatever I want. They didn't come in to see me. They came in to see comedy, and they didn't. And they were irritated that I would make fun of the president that their dead father voted for.
I have another dumb question for you. I'm going to follow up one with another one. Have you ever been told at Acme, like, don't talk about that?
Oh, no. No, as I mentioned at the 30th anniversary show, is Acme's rule is you can say anything as long as it's funny. And if somebody gets offended, that's even funnier.
Why isn't that written on the door here?
That should be on the door. Oh my gosh. It should be, yes, it should be etched in stone like the runes over the dwarf kingdom in the Misty Mountains.
So do you have were there legendary comedy specials that you watched when you were growing up that like when I just say that, what comes to mind?
I remember renting Eddie Murphy's Raw. I had a buddy that had a VCR, and it was kind of a big deal to have a VCR. It's like, you want to watch some comedy? And so we went to the video store, and this was really early on. I'd say, oh, look, there's Eddie Murphy's special. And we rented that, and I watched it.
Repeated the jokes.
No, I didn't think it was funny.
Oh, wow.
I just looked at it and I go, really? This is what people are buying now. And I hear people back saying, that was one of the greatest comedy specials ever recorded. And it's like, okay,
interesting.
Right.
You're saying you're talking about Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
the one with his red leather pants all the F words are checking out my booty in these pants.
Yeah,
so it's like, well, then don't wear them, Eddie. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Along those lines, remember before the pandemic, we were hearing these rumors that he was going to go back out on tour.
Huh.
I haven't seen that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
It's one thing I know about remember about Eddie Murphy, and this cracks me up every time I think about it, is that he apparently he liked well, how do we say this nowadays? He got in trouble because he picked up a transgender hooker.
Yeah.
Oh, sex worker. Whoops. A transgender sex worker. That's the way you say it. We called it something different when he did it. But he picked up a transgender sex worker and apparently didn't know, or I don't remember. No, he knew. That was the question, was did he know or not?
Right.
Did he know or not? And somebody found the transgender sex worker and interviewed they. And the one thing I remember from the interview is that the sex worker said he uses Drakkar cologne.
Oh my! You know what though? Back then, who didn't? You had some Drakkar.
That's all they said was yeah. All I can remember about the night was that Drakkar was put on really heavily.
Yeah. He probably had on Gerbeau jeans too, or Guess or something too. I wouldn't be surprised. It smelled like Polo. Yeah, everyone had Polo or Drakkar Noir back then. Oh, that's fantastic. Have you had, this is a question I don't think I've asked you before. Have you had any gigs over your career where you've thought, how did I get here? And I mean that like, how did I get here? It's so terrible. How did I get here? Or how did I get here? It's so amazing. I can't believe I'm here. How did I get here?
Yeah, the bad ones. I kind of knew how I got there. I didn't listen to my parents. When they said you don't want to get into comedy, you have such a bright future in computers, but
computers are the future.
Yeah, they were when I was there, and had I stuck with it, oh well. Anyway, how did I think every time I come through the Acme curtain, I wonder how I got here. I mean, that to me, it's knowing that there's so many people that would like to walk through those curtains, and only, I don't know, a couple hundred have. So that to me is special.
Talked to Chris Bliss recently, and he was saying something very similar. He was sort of, it might have been his last week at Acme, so he was doing a lot of, looking back on his career. Yeah, walking through these curtains, very big deal.
This is kind of interesting. It's I found this out at the 30th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Is there's before you walk in through those curtains, there's like a rock archway. I don't know if how many people really see it. There's like a rock archway that you stand in while you're waiting to be introduced.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of holes and cracks and crevices in that rock. And the first time I worked Acme, I had I had a bunch of junk in my pocket. I picked up all these in my leather jacket. I had all these good luck charms tucked away, and I pulled one out and stuck it in the crevice of those rocks. And what I've found out at the 30th anniversary, almost all of us have. It's kind of like it's kind of like the prayer wall in Jerusalem, where people actually roll up prayers and they stick it in the. I talked to a bunch of comics that say they've stuck things in those rocks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to turn right around and pull the curtain back and check now, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. I don't know if I want to stick my fingers in things I don't see what's inside there, though. I don't know. It's a lesson you can learn the hard way.
Yeah, stay away from the condo mayonnaise.
That's right. Yeah. Does anybody have latex gloves I can put on? Maybe from the kitchen. No, then we'll do some investigating. I'm not sure. What else was I going to ask you about? So I was listening to a podcast recently with Mark Maron. Was talking to Jeff Foxworthy.
Huh.
Jeff Foxworthy recently recorded a new special.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that because a buddy of mine here in Chicago, one of the younger comics, trashed it, just trashed it, and so I had to look at it to see what if what he was saying was valid. So I watched a little of it.
Okay. I have not seen any of it, but when in the beginning of this interview, Mark Maron tells him that he's watched it. I watched it, and Jeff Foxworthy's immediate reaction was cringing, and he says, "It's like I don't. That makes me so uncomfortable thinking that you're listening and watching my special." Can you relate to that at all? On either side?
I kind of understand Jeff because there's stage Jeff and there's real Jeff. And real Jeff wants to be respected by the Mark Marons of the industry. Stage Jeff just wants to cash the check.
Interesting.
So be doing Mark Maron's podcast thinking that Mark Maron actually watched what you put out there. Yeah, that would make me
Oh, okay.
I have a few bits like that. I have a few bits that when people come back to me, they go, "Oh my God, that bit was so funny. That's like the funniest thing I ever heard my whole life." It's like, well, I should probably just stop writing then.
And get your email for my mailing list, right? The other thing, let's see. So when do you know that the prep for recording, like, how do you know enough is enough? When do you like, if you,
I don't,
why put it off another week, another month, another year, do it last month?
I think I'm nowhere near ready.
No,
I don't know if I'm gonna be. So this might actually be a crash and burn. That happened to me once at Acme. I was working on a full-length vegetarian bit. It was a 45-minute rant about vegetarians, and
wow,
I worked on it and I got here, and while I was still working on it, and it just wasn't ready. I think I did it Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but by Friday for sure I was back in my old set.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't as solid as I'd hoped.
So people could have come twice that week and seen completely different shows.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Wow.
Might happen this week too.
Wow. That's amazing. How have you kept yourself busy getting ready for this?
No.
No? So you're doing it all the way you're supposed to, is what you're saying. That's perfect. That is perfect. Have you thought of any, like, do you have a title? Do you know what you're going to wear? Do you have any, like, you're going to do any tweaks to the club, change the color of the curtain or anything like that?
Well, I'm going to be wearing the same thing all week. It's Monday through, so that way if I happen to have a good set in the early part of the week, it can still good pieces can be taken out of it.
Sure.
The title, if I mentioned the title,
I don't think you said it on the recording.
Oh, okay,
here, no.
Okay. The title is "Cancel This!" !
Love that.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. I love that. Bring it on, right?
Yeah.
Bring it on. You didn't want to do a best of Slagle Volume 2?
Yeah, there's issues with that I don't want to get I don't want to get into. So this is the stuff that only Acme thinks is funny.
Oh, fair enough. So I did an eBay search of your name, Tim Slagle.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and I thought
did you blow $5 and get one of those valuable items?
Well, the one I actually have my eye on is $29.88 plus $4 shipping.
Huh.
And that is a VHS copy. You mentioned VHS earlier. Of the Eddie Murphy Raw. Tim Slagle Awake.
Oh yeah, that one.
Not too excited about that one.
That was the first one. That would be my first special. I guess you would. I don't know if you'd call it special. I didn't know what to call it back then. The shows, tape, VHS. Yeah, that was before comics started selling CDs. There was I got this bright idea as I would sell VHS tapes after the show, and recorded that, and the recording did not go well. So he did not do the color correction. So I said, just take the color out. And it's actually black and white. And we recorded it Zanies.
Oh, retro and cool now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. It was kind of funny. There was a young comic, and I was doing a bit called Hipster Zero. The gist of the bit is I'm the original hipster. I wish I would have known I was going to be talking about this.
Oh, sorry about that.
I could actually do the bit. I would drink Pabst Blue Ribbon. I was living with my parents back in the 80s, and back then it wasn't cool. You see, I was doing it before it was cool. I'm the original hipster.
That's right.
And so I was doing this bit, and one comic put on Facebook he was in a thrift store and actually found that tape on VHS and actually posted it. He goes, Slagle's right. He's, look at this VHS. You can't get more hipster than VHS.
Right. You should find as many as you can. Start selling them. Tell them they're from 2022. Everybody would buy.
Oh, I've got a crate of them. Still.
Do you still?
Yeah. Yeah. I stopped. I kind of stopped selling them for a while, and it was really weird that I was looking at this kid, and my distributor said, yeah, I'm not going to use these anymore if you want them. And I said, okay, I'll take them. I'll see if I can sell them after the show. And I did a show in a college town, and I go into the pitch, and I grab the that I'm going to sell during the show. And I grab the VHS tape, and you would not believe the way these kids looked at me. It was like grandpa waving around an 8-track tape. Just the look on their face. I couldn't even finish the pitch because I knew what they were what they were thinking. I could just see on their faces, like, is he really going to sell a VHS tape? Because the transition from DVD to VHS or VHS to DVD was so quick. The VHS became obsolete so fast that, and it was just hilarious. So I finished it by saying, well, if you're like I was in college, you got that couch with a broken leg. So buy 2 of these and you can fix it.
That's right. I think my house had 3 of those broken couches in college. So I'm looking at pictures of this VHS. It was made by a company named Snake Pit Home Video. Is that a real They still around, you think?
Nah, I just made it up.
I was just going to say, is that your company? Snake Pit?
No, well, yeah, it was a nod to a buddy of mine that he had a bar in his basement. While I was living in a studio and apartment in Chicago, he had bought a house, and the house had like one of those bars, and he called it the Snake Pit. So like my nod to him was to call it Snake Pit Video.
Love it. Sure. Include your friend. I love it. I'm going to take a second and read what you have, the sticker that's on the VHS tape, if you don't mind here. 1993, by the way, Tim Slagle.
Whew.
Right.
30 years.
45 minutes in length. And then it says, okay, there it is. Don't say I didn't warn you. I loathe all things governmental, including the Office of Copyrights, and believe that art should belong to all the people. If you want to dub a copy for a friend, how am I going to stop you? But hey, I got to eat. If you steal my work for profit, I will hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah, I don't think anyone stole it.
No. No murders on your like to confess to right now based on a stolen VHS?
Yeah, I don't think anyone wanted it.
No one wanted it. Stop.
A lot of people remember it though. A lot of people that do enjoy it. I hear all the time. They tell me that was like one of my best sets ever. So
oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So let's see what else.
$29 on eBay, huh?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. Actually, it says 28.44 or best offer. So maybe a little discount on there. It's possible. It's very, very possible. Here's a question.
Signed? Is it signed? Is it one of the signed ones?
I did not see any signed copies.
Huh.
No, I saw copies of that VHS from your career, and then what's the other CD? Europa? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the CD.
Yeah, that one's available. A few copies of that are available on eBay as well. Which it has that cartoon version.
Yeah, Jack Davis. Jack Davis, my distributor Dan Schlissel looked up Jack Davis, who was a very famous Mad Magazine.
That's right.
Drawer. He also did TV guide covers. He did he did movie covers. He did It's a Mad World. He did that movie poster, a bunch of other stuff. So I was really happy that he. Oh, I think I can tell this story.
Oh, here we go. I saw the wheels turning.
So Dan Schlissel, Stand Up Records, looked him up to see if he'd be willing to do it, if he'd be willing to draw the CD for me, because that's it. And he essentially drew my bit of Europe, what I think of Europe, and he contacted him, and Jack said, well, as long as it's not raunchy, and it's a little raunchy. So Dan said, I'll send you a copy and you can listen to it. And don't want you to put your name on something that you would not approve of. And so he sent it to him, called him up a couple months later and said, if you had a chance to listen to the CD, because we want to get that rolling. And he heard like a bunch of shuffling on his desk and like papers. I'm sure it was here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. I thought I put it right. I tell you what, can you promise me it's not raunchy?
Wow.
Like, no. Sure.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Wow. So I think I want to mention real quickly, you also have some out there that you did a thing with Dry Bar that's out there right now.
I did. That was kind of interesting because I recorded for Dry Bar back in February of 2019. And
that's when that is from?
Yeah, February of 2019. And I didn't and I never heard back from them. Nothing. And then a couple years later, I think it was like 2020, maybe year. So they contacted. They said, "Well, we're ready to go. Here's the edit. Are you okay with this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." They go, "You got a name for it?" I go, "Yeah, Team Mammal will be the name of it." And they said, "Okay." Nothing. Year goes by, nothing. And I come home from I'm in the airport coming home from the 30th anniversary party. Bit of a headache, quite thirsty, not sure why.
Interesting.
And I opened my email there in the airport, and they say, "Congratulations, your special is now airing."
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. And that's I didn't think they were going to. I thought it was. Do you know anything about Dry Bar?
I mean, I've talked to quite a few people that have done these dry bars. Ultra Clean Mormons are recording these. Yes. Utah.
Yes. So I just figured it was not appropriate. But no.
There it is. So I saw a couple clips are out there on YouTube. They've cut it into a few clips, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at some of the comments. One of them was, ha 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 ha. And then underneath it said, please translate. Like, to a different language? What do you, I think it's universal. I'm pretty sure ha 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 is the same in all languages.
Yeah, I love the comments. Some of them are one of them, let me see if I can get it right. Someone said it's incredibly dark and slowly unfolding like a Christopher Nolan film.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh.
And of course, a lot of this isn't funny.
Oh, hey, no.
But the one
I do that just to mess with my friends. Don't take that seriously.
The one that compared it to a Christopher Nolan film. I go, that was extremely flattering. Because that's kind of what I was working towards with this.
I have that one right in front of me. I have it word for word here. Love how it's slow burns like a Christopher Nolan movie and ended up becoming the darkest comedy bit I've heard in years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's awesome. The other one one more that stood out to me was I think this story sounded like it really happened. It was a good one. Like, oh, well, good. You believed it's that it could happen.
It did happen. It actually it's a true story. I'll break it here. Was not a goth girl though. It was my wife.
Interesting to say that, because a lot of the comments in there are dissecting whether this person is goth or putting themselves in that place, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to get into. My tendency to get into arguments on Facebook told me that I should just leave the comments alone. There's actually nothing good that can happen by me commenting on the comments. But the ones that crack me up is like, look at this guy. He's like 100. Like any goth girl would ever be interested in him. And what I really wanted to say to that one was, excuse me, do you realize that goth is like 40 years old now?
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, you're not as cutting edge as you think you are.
No. Breaking news, you're copying things that were already done. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. So do you have any idea what you're going to be recording at Acme, April 20th, 23rd? Do you have any idea when that will be available to people?
I do not. Is there's a couple people that are interested in breaking it up in clips and TikToking it. I think that's what the kids say, and stuff like that to try to generate interest in the whole special. So.
I think one more question. Do you? It's based on another special I recently watched. Aziz Ansari has one that's pretty new. And the thing that stood out to me, one of the things that stood out to me, is towards the end, he talks about he dropped all of his social media, got rid of his regular phone, and switched to a flip phone. Could you handle that?
What?
Could Tim Slagle switch to a flip phone and survive life? No.
There's just so much. There's just so much I rely on the phone for now. Directions is one. I used to have an atlas. I used to be able to. It's one of the talents I have that have absolutely no use in a modern society. I can fix electronics. is nobody fixes electronics anymore. They throw
True.
it away and buy new. It's, you know, I can program Fortran. I can, but one of the useless things is I used to be able to tell me the bar I was going to, tell me the city, and I could pull out an atlas, I could find my way to that, and I don't need it anymore. I don't even know if I can anymore. It's because I just type in where I'm going, and let the Google lady tell me the turns I need to make.
The spiral binding on those map books would sometimes get loose. That's about the only thing that could go wrong with those, really. Maybe lose a page or something.
Mine was stapled. It was not spiral. Mine was stapled, and I would buy a new one every year. And the funny thing was, there was one time I was driving to a gig, and I look for the I open it up, I look for the city, and it says like printed really, really small, and I go, God, I can't read that. I probably need new shock absorbers in my car, because it's to the vibration of the car is too hard to read that. And I was collecting old eyeglass frames back then, and my wife brought home someone's dad's eyeglasses, and they still had the lenses in them. And I was using them. They were bifocals, and I was using them to do some fixing electronic work to bring the story full circle.
Look at that.
And I put them, I couldn't find safety glasses, so I'll just grab these old bifocals, I put them on, and suddenly I could see really well. And so I went upstairs and I grabbed the atlas, and I go, well, it's not my shock absorbers at all. I think it's time to see the optometrist.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had a buddy, and I'm talking to my buddy, and I tell him this story, and he goes, well, my eyes are pretty good. You know, I'm in my 40s now. My eyes are pretty good. I'm lucky. I go, really? And I hand him the atlas, and I go, find your hometown. And it was like Ottumwa, Iowa, or something like that. And he looks at it. He goes, right there. I go, okay. And then I hand him the bifocals. I go, now find your hometown. And he opens the atlas. He goes, you are a son of a bitch. The next time I saw him, he had reading glasses.
Love it. That's like those people that go to, you go and, I don't know, you go get your hair cut, and the doctor's like, or the barber's like, you have this lump on your head. Next thing you know, you find out, you have cancer or something. Like, who knows? Who knows what you might find out at the right time or wrong time. Well, I have something that you could use here. It's not original, Tim, but as you're recording the special here at Acme, and if things aren't going well, there's another. I've been watching a lot of specials recently. Rosebud Baker is a comedian that has one out in the last year. I watched that recently, and she is in her specials. She's talking to the crowd, and she says to someone, "Are you having a good time?" The person says yes, and then she goes, "Well, tell your face." So there you go. You can use that one.
Oh, man.
I know.
Yeah. I'll tell that to Will Smith's wife.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to say, have you ever had any close call, like rushing the stage? Someone's maybe had any sort of emergency in the...
Oh, yeah. The places I've worked, common. You know, it's the beauty of stand-up comedy. We have a microphone stand with 10 pounds of iron at the bottom end.
The doubles as a weapon, you're saying?
Yep. So I'm never really afraid. If they get too close, they're gonna taste the mic stand.
Find out how the mic tastes. Yeah. How's that mic taste?
I don't know what I would have done if I just had a handheld mic up there in my velvet jacket. I don't know what I would have. Defenseless. Yeah. Yeah. Your award's not for a couple more yet, Will.
That's right. That's right. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to let people know about right now, Tim?
No, just come out and see the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting. I might walk a few people. I mean, I always talk about the time I walked 90% of the crowd. I always talk about it. You might see people walk this week. It's always entertaining.
And you will be judging that as a success, you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. If I don't walk at least a couple people, what am I doing? I'm Jeff Foxworthy.
Who is this special for? Who is the special for? Who are you making it? Are you making it with? Who's you?
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. There's an adage in comedy, and I don't know if he ever said it, but it's always been my guiding principle, is that Lenny Bruce said apocryphally that I don't need everyone to get me. He goes, just if one out of every 100,000, if just 100,000 people get what I do, and they enjoy it so much, they're willing to give me $10 a year, I'm happy. And what I've been doing is been trying to find that Lenny Bruce 100K my entire career, and I've never and now I think with the internet I can do it.
Yeah,
I think there's 100,000 people. I mean that's what is that? That's 1/3 of 1/100th%. I think of Americans. If I can't find those 100,000. What's the internet for?
Trolling.
Yeah, Facebook comments. And buying overpriced Slagle VHS tapes.
That's right. I'll look at it another way. Getting a complete collection. If something's missing, you go there and you fill out the collection. That's right. Well, Tim, this has been good. Thank you very much for doing this.
My pleasure. Always fun, Joe.
If I made a Max Headroom reference, do people under my age even know who that was? Exactly. Hey, hello.
You know what's amazing about that? Since you brought it up, they didn't do that with computers.
Oh. It was supposed to simulate what computers would do, but it wasn't.
In the future. 5 minutes in the future is what they said.
Is that what it was?
It was supposed to be 5 minutes in the future. So it was actually a really nice a really nice prediction. I mean, they kind of nailed it. That's computer animation now has gone above and beyond that, but right. They just put on makeup to flatten its features and a rubber wig and a rubber suit, and then put a TV screen behind him with a horizontal hold off. And interesting, huh? Yeah,
it was so cool. And what we just did now, they did on the Jetsons, sort of, video calls, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. Mm-hmm. Well, picture phones were supposed to be just around the corner since I was a kid, and in the 60s, they were always AT&T was, the future of phones will be pictures.
The one thing we don't have from the Jetsons, and we have like our computer like assistants, Alexa, Google, whatever that crap, but we don't have the one that's walking around the house and serving us. So I'm still looking forward to that.
Folding
my laundry.
I got an Alexa for Christmas. It was just kind of a stocking stuffer. And I was like, I'll hook it up. But I found out I could hook it up to the lights and the TV. And, and it's like, Alexa, turn on the lights, and the lights come on now. And it's Alexa, start the TV, and the TV starts. And then I go, boy, this is familiar. And I think to myself, I go, Alexa, open the pod bay doors.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Did you try it?
No. What is it? Does she make a noise or something?
She says, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Wow. She has a sense of humor sometimes.
I was delighted.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, we do the lights and, well, not the TV, but we do the lights at my house as well. And what's kind of fun is you, instead of going, Alexa, turn on the light, you can make up, silly names for them too. Like Alexa, turn on the blue thing, or who knows? We make up dumb names. And then when my mother-in-law comes over and tries to turn the light off, she doesn't know how to do it.
And you say, turn on the blue thing. And then a noise comes from your wife's nightstand.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, thank you, Tim. All right, now we're putting a bow on this thing.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
People
you.
come out and see the special. You will not be disappointed, and keep an eye on the door for when something maybe might look around. Maybe something rubs somebody a wrong way around you, and that door opens. Maybe they don't come back. It's all part of it.
With any luck.
Yeah, there you go.